bookers, and welcome to What's My Family? This is a lesson about a 300-year-old argument, and I'm going to present the evidence to you today, and hopefully you will be the judge who figures out what the correct answer should be. Now, our mystery begins all the way back in 1666 with a string instrument called the harpsichord. It was the grandfather of today's modern piano. Take a look at it. Now, the harpsichord had a very interesting, very kind of plink, 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 plink sound, because whenever you played it by pressing a key, there would be a little gadget inside that would literally pluck each one of the strings. But no matter how hard or how softly you tap those keys or press those keys, it always played at the same volume. It never got softer, it never got louder. So around 1700, a very brilliant, successful, rich Italian inventor named Bartolomeo Cristofori figured out a way to change that. And he created a modern instrument that we're still using 300 years later that's extremely popular, and it is today's modern piano. Now, what makes this piano different from the harpsichord? Well, let me take you through that. But first, let me tell you about the argument. There are people who claim that this modern piano is a member of the percussion family. But there are those who argue, the piano has strings. That means it has to be a member of the string family. And then there's a third option. So let's go ahead and let's examine this incredible instrument and see if you can solve what's my family. Now, if you look at the modern piano, the first thing you'll notice is it has keys. And the keys are black and white. There are 88 total keys on the piano. The very first note on the piano is A. And then we go to B, C, D, E, F, G. But musicians are amazing recyclers because we just keep recycling those 7 letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way up to the last note of the piano, which is a C. So we just recycle. There are 7 A's. There are 7 C's. Now, the next interesting thing is that the name of this instrument is not piano. Haha, most people have been calling it by its nickname for 300 years. The real name of this instrument is the pianoforte. Now, that's a compound Italian word. You know, we have compound English words, American words like butterfly or basketball. Well, this pianoforte is an Italian word. Piano means soft, and forte means loud. And so if you translate pianoforte, this is really the soft loud. Remember I told you before that no matter how hard you tried to play that harpsichord, that grandfather of the piano, it would always be the same sound? Well, this piano allows you to play both very softly or very loudly and back again. You couldn't do that before. And that's one of the things that people loved about this pianoforte. Now, let's take a closer look. The first thing anybody has to do when playing the piano is you have to press a key on the keyboard. So let's start down here with one of the lower keys. Watch what happens. I press the key and look at what moves. See that? One of these, called a hammer, actually goes forward and hits the string. When it hits the string starts to, what's our V word? Vibrate. Exactly. I'm going to do it again for you. Watch the hammer as I press the key. See it? So, the sound is started by the hammer hitting the string and making it vibrate. Next, if you look closely, these lower strings make that sound come in from the top because they are very, very thick. Take a look. They're wrapped with thick copper wire. That's what makes them have such a low sound. And you only have one string for every note. But as you move higher, you start to have 2 strings and then even 3 strings for middle notes. Middle C on the piano has 3 strings that have to sound exactly the same in order to play the note. And then we go all the way up to the top of the piano to the highest strings possible, and they're a lot shorter and a lot thinner to make those high notes on the piano. Now, here comes the argument. People say that since you have to hit the strings, which is percussion, you hit percussion instruments, that means that the piano has to be a percussion instrument because you don't get any sound unless you hit the strings. But the other group says, because if you didn't have strings for that hammer to hit, you wouldn't get a sound. So because the strings vibrate and make the sound, just like they do in a violin or a viola or a cello or a harp, the piano is a string family instrument. And they go round and round, percussion and string, percussion, no string. And then, about 20 years ago, we got a third group that came in here. Because today, we have machines and computers that can create music. If any of you use Macintosh, you know that there's a program called GarageBand. You can actually compose your own songs on that program. And in order to work a computer, you have to have something that your fingers tap on that controls the computer called and it's a compound word, keyboard. And that's exactly what this is called. These black and white keys, this is the piano keyboard. So this new group says, why don't we just quit arguing and why don't we call the piano a member of a new family called keyboards? And we'll just stop fighting about it. Now, the question for you, my second grade viewers, is this. To what family do you think the piano belongs? Do you vote for percussion? Do you vote for string? Or do you say, let's just call it a keyboard and not argue anymore? What is your answer to the pianoforte's question, what's my family?